The Vampire of the Abandoned Building. On the edge of the city, hidden behind overgrown trees and rusted fences, stood an old abandoned building. Once a grand library, it had been deserted for decades, its windows shattered and its walls cloaked in ivy. The townsfolk whispered dark tales about it, stories of strange sightings and eerie noises in the dead of night. Alex, a journalist with a penchant for uncovering urban legends, decided to investigate the building. Armed with a flashlight, a notebook, and a camera, he arrived at the site just as the sun dipped below the horizon. The fading light painted the building in hues of red and gold, giving it an almost menacing appearance. As Alex stepped inside, the air grew cold, and the musty scent of decay enveloped him. The floor was littered with debris, broken furniture, shattered glass, and old, crumbling books. The silence was oppressive, broken only by the occasional scuttle of rats. The journalist moved cautiously, his flashlight cutting through the thick darkness. Shadows danced along the walls, and the building seemed to groan with age. Alex couldn't shake the feeling of being watched, but he dismissed it as paranoia. He explored room after room, finding nothing but decay and emptiness. But as he climbed the staircase to the upper floor, a strange sound reached his ears. A soft, rhythmic tapping. It echoed through the halls, sending chills down his spine. The tapping grew louder as Alex approached a large room at the end of the hallway. The door was slightly ajar, and a dim, flickering light spilled out. Taking a deep breath, he pushed the door open and stepped inside. The room was vast, its high ceiling adorned with intricate carvings now obscured by cobwebs. In the center stood a grand table, and seated at its head was a figure cloaked in shadows. A single candle burned on the table, casting an eerie glow. "Who's there?" Alex called out, his voice trembling. The figure didn't respond, but slowly turned its head toward him. As it moved, the candlelight illuminated its face, a pale, gaunt visage with piercing red eyes and sharp fangs protruding from its mouth. Alex froze, his blood turning to ice. The figure rose gracefully from its chair, towering over him. Its movements were unnaturally fluid, almost hypnotic. "Why have you come here, mortal?" the vampire asked, its voice smooth and cold. Alex stumbled backward, nearly dropping his flashlight. I'm a journalist. I wanted to learn the truth about this place." The vampire smirked, revealing its sharp teeth. "The truth? This building has seen centuries of life and death, and I have been its only constant. You seek stories, but some truths are better left buried." Before Alex could respond, the vampire moved with inhuman speed, appearing just inches from him. The air grew colder, and Alex could feel the creature's breath on his neck. "You smell of fear," the vampire whispered, its crimson eyes locking onto Alex's. "But you are brave to come here alone. That bravery will be your downfall." Summoning all his courage, Alex raised his camera and snapped a photo. The flash lit up the room, and the vampire recoiled, hissing in anger. Taking advantage of the moment, Alex turned and ran, his footsteps echoing through the halls. The vampire's laughter followed him, a chilling sound that seemed to come from everywhere at once. "You cannot escape, mortal. This building is my domain." Alex stumbled down the stairs, his heart pounding. The exit was just ahead, but as he neared it, the vampire appeared in front of him, blocking his path. "You should not have come here," it said, its voice dripping with malice. "Now you will stay. Forever." Desperate, Alex swung his flashlight at the creature. The vampire dodged effortlessly, its movements a blur. But as it lunged toward him, Alex noticed a broken wooden beam lying nearby. Grabbing it, he held it out like a makeshift stake. The vampire hesitated, its red eyes narrowing. "Clever," it hissed. "But do you truly think you can defeat me?" Summoning every ounce of strength, Alex thrust the beam toward the vampire. The creature dodged but stumbled slightly, giving Alex just enough time to sprint past it and out the door. The cold night air hit him like a wave as he ran toward his car. Behind him, the vampire stood in the doorway, watching him with a mixture of anger and amusement. "This is not over," it called out, its voice carrying on the wind. "You will return, whether you wish to or not." Alex didn't stop until he was safely inside his car, the engine roaring to life. He sped away from the building, his hands trembling on the wheel. Back in his apartment, Alex reviewed the photos he had taken. Most were dark and blurry, but one image stood out, a